Hey everybody, long time no see. I haven't posted in quite some time, and that's just because I had a lot of stuff going on in my life. As you can see from the title of this video, two very exciting things happened to me. First, I got this lovely Monstera Deliciosa, and the reason why I'm so excited about this plant is because it was a plant I told myself I wasn't gonna get until we move into our new place, which is a lot bigger than our current apartment. Because this gal, she's pretty big. So this gal sits in a 10-inch pot. I still have her in her nursery container because I haven't been able to find a pot big enough. If you know me, you know that I prefer to thrift a lot of my plant pots, and it's very difficult trying to find plant pots, yet alone massive plant pots in the winter. So she's just staying there for now, although her aerial roots are starting to go a little crazy. As you can see, there's one like sticking out the back, so I think she's telling me she wants to be repotted. For now, she's just kind of living in this decorative basket, which I have a little water catcher thing in it. There was water in that. Okay, at least I know it's doing its job. So yeah, I'm gonna have to find a pot for her soon. But the reason why I couldn't resist buying her was because one day I went out to get groceries, and sometimes I'm skeptical of grocery store plants because the workers there tend to not really take good care of them because like it's a grocery store. But my local grocery store had a bunch of these guys on sale for like $25. And any of the Monsteras I've seen in this size, the 10-inch pots at nurseries, easily go for like 75 plus. So I quickly texted my husband and I was like, how mad would you be if I came home with another plant? And like a really big plant at that. But thankfully he didn't mind, so she came home with me. And to be honest, I probably still would have bought her even if he said no. So I brought her home, I gave her a nice little shower, and then I cut off a bunch of the smaller leaves at the bottom just to promote growth of the newer leaves. And as you can see, when I first got her, she had a couple of new leaves that were ready to unravel. It's been a few months and she's probably put out like maybe 2 or 3 new leaves in total. And then, especially because she came from a grocery store, I wiped her down with some neem oil just to make sure that there weren't any pests that had hitched a ride, because I'm still dealing with thrips and like, Lord knows, I need any more pests in this house. I usually keep her where the camera is actually sitting right now, which is in front of a window to our balcony, because this is the spot that gets the most bright light, and she's been very happy there. I don't really know if this is a newsworthy video, and especially because Monstera Deliciosas are like kind of basic plants, like I feel like everyone wants to own them or everyone has them, but it's been on my wish list to have one that is this big, and I just knew I couldn't pass up getting her for like $25. Now I'm definitely not allowed to have any bigger plants until we move into our new place. Notice how I said only bigger plants. I can still get some baby ones. And in other life update news, I got married. My husband and I got married on October 30th. Originally we were supposed to get married last October, but obviously because of COVID, we ended up postponing our wedding. There's still some restrictions where I live, so unfortunately we still couldn't have everyone we wanted to invite at our wedding, but we still had a pretty decent number, and we ended up live streaming our ceremony for those who couldn't attend in person.
And therefore, by the authority given by this province, I pronounce they are now husband and wife, giving kiss the bride.
It still feels so surreal that it actually happened, and I think just because we've been waiting so long. We got engaged December of 2018, and so that was already going to be like another year and a half until we actually were going to get married in 2020, but then we had to postpone it an additional year, so it just doesn't seem real that it happened. And a lot of people told me that, you know, your wedding date's going to feel like a big blur and a dream, and it definitely does, but I think a lot of that is just because of the waiting. It was an absolutely wonderful day, and I'm just so happy that we finally did it, and like, it's a really good feeling finally being married. We also ended up being able to go on our honeymoon, which was to the beautiful country of Belize. We stayed at a place called Sleeping Giant Rainforest Lodge, and it is like such a stunning location. It's nestled in the Mayan mountains, and the reason they call it Sleeping Giant is because the view from the lodge that you're staying at, you can kind of see there's this like dude in the mountains, and like there's his face and that's his belly, and he's laying down, so he's the Sleeping Giant. The property itself has so many different hiking trails, and it's connected to a very big orange grove. So in addition to the hiking trails, you can also go walk through the orange groves, and they allowed you to pick any fruit that you found and eat it. I'd say we probably walked like 10 to 15 kilometers every single day between doing the hiking trails and walking through the orange groves. And it was so cool being able to like pick some of the oranges because they were coming up on their second harvest, so there was actually quite a few oranges that were ready for eating. And they also had some cacao trees on the property, which was so cool because I've never seen a cacao fruit in person before. And if you don't know, cacao fruits is where chocolate comes from. The inside of the fruit has a bunch of these seeds, which are surrounded by this white fleshy substance. That made it sound kind of gross, but it's actually really delicious. It kind of tastes like pineapple, like it's a sweet citrusy taste, which is kind of funny because you wouldn't think chocolate would come from that, but the chocolate actually comes from the seeds that are inside the flesh. And it was so cool because we actually took a cooking class with a local Mayan family, and they showed us how to make chocolate, and like the amount of skill that goes into traditional chocolate making is like amazing. Another really cool thing we did was herd cattle. This was a totally spontaneous experience. We just happened to be walking in the orange groves one day, and we ran into a local rancher named Sherman, and he was like, come by the horse stables and we can round up some cattle. It'll be a really cool experience for you guys. And we were like, okay. And now I've ridden horses before, but like I'm kind of scared. Like, I don't know, I feel like I'm just scared I'm gonna get like flung off or something. They're really beautiful creatures, but like I'm still slightly terrified to ride them. But it was so much fun because they let the cattle roam free in the orange groves during the day, but obviously at night they have to bring them back into the pen because, you know, there's like predators like jaguars and whatnot. So me, Will, Sherman, and a farmhand, we all went out on these horses and we found the cattle and we just rounded them up and put them back in their pen, and like it was such a cool experience. I'm usually not a very spontaneous person because I need to like plan things out. I'm very detail oriented, but like it felt so freeing just to like be spontaneous and do that sort of stuff. Plus it's a really good way to like actually get an authentic local experience. Like the people there are just so lovely and so friendly, and the food is like 10 out of 10. And to kind of bring this back to plants, it was really cool seeing plants that I have as house plants just in the wild. Like there were giant monsteras growing up the trees. One of my personal favorite plants that we came across was the sensitive plant. I can't remember which balcony tour video it was, but at some point last summer I did have a sensitive plant, so I kind of talked a little bit about how in Central and South America these guys are actually weeds. And it was so surreal to like just see them growing on the ground and the roads everywhere, and you know, when you'd walk on them they'd start closing up, and like it's just so cool to like see that in the wild. And of course there were lots of cool mushrooms. The very first hike we did was supposed to only take about 30 minutes, but I think we ended up taking 45 just because I was constantly stopping to take pictures of mushrooms. But like, look at these mushrooms. How would you not want to stop and take pictures of them? Especially ones that look like buttholes. And one last update, I've had a bit of a change in career. Wait, no, that was not the right way to word that. I'm still in the film industry. I got a promotion. That's what it is. I have officially been bumped up to an editor instead of an assistant editor. And a lot of people are probably like, what's the difference? As an assistant editor, it's more technical. So we're dealing with stuff like ingesting the footage for the editors, syncing everything, and basically not a lot of like creative stuff. But now that I'm an actual editor, I get to edit the footage. And right now I'm currently working on a cooking competition show, and those shows are so much fun to work on. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. That's pretty much it for this video. I know it wasn't super planty related other than my news about getting this big gal. I'm gonna try to do somewhat of a normal schedule with putting out videos, but between my job and just life in general, I don't really have that much free time during the week anymore, which is typically when I film these videos. But I'm gonna try my best. Just no promises. And now my neighbor is hammering stuff, so I should probably wrap up this video. I appreciate you sticking around, even though I'm not a super consistent uploader. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Like and subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye! Oh, you guys probably want like a close-up of the ring. I feel like people always ask for that. Well, my camera doesn't want to focus, so this is the closest you're gonna get.